Hello and welcome back to Up the Villa podcast. If you're new to our channel, subscribe, drop this video a like and get involved in the comment section down below. Put your teams in the comment section down below or share your teams on social media using our lineup selector. So you'd go under Social Hub on our website, you'll find a lineup selector, and then you can share your teams on social media and pick the players that you want to see in a Villa shirt. Little bit of new merch from myself. Loving this new training top. Really like the colour. So yeah, I think it's great. Nice little shirt. The fit's good. It feels good. I always tend to like to get like one training item per season, and I always go for these like little 3/4 zip up tops. I think they're pretty cool, to be fair. I don't really like full zip up things, so the little 3/4 zip tops, really nice, feels good, quality's good. Absolutely love it. Right, so let's get in there then to the predicted lineup. Thank you everybody who watched the match preview. It went down really, really well. So we'll go old school this week. Should we go old school a little bit? And I'll pick the lineup with you. The last couple of episodes, I've already had the lineup on the screen, and then we've been going into a little bit more detail. But let's go old school. Let's pick it as we go, and then we can go from there. So I'm going to go with Martinez in goal. Hopefully he's recovered from the slight pain he had in his leg against Hibs, which I think he will. He did have some strapping on and he was able to start the game. So I think it's only minor. We've seen how robust Martinez is. I think he will be fine for this one. My left-sided centre-back, I'm going to go with Pau. I think we need to change his name because he's known as Pau. So we'll go with Pau. Again, very, very important from him. We are starting to see why we signed him, on how majority of our play starts with Pau Torres, comfortable on the ball. I think he's looking better and better. I think he started quite slow against Hibs, but got into the game and looked really, really good. So we can all see that his passing range is very, very good. And then I'm going to go with Ezri Konsa to partner Pau. And I've got to say about Konsa as well that we always used to say that he was a Rolls Royce. And I think we used to say that a little bit too hastily, if that's a word, because we thought he was good back in the day. I'm not saying back in the day like he's about 40 years old. But, you know, when we first got promoted to the Premier League, we'd always say he's like a Rolls. But he's added possession to his game. He's added a passing range, and he's added a calmness and a confidence to step out, which wasn't there before. And I think Unai has brought that out of him. So testament to Konsa and the way he's playing and the way he's developed under Unai, because, you know, from that side of the game that he didn't have before, he's looking very, very good. Right back, I'm going to go with Matty Cash. He sat out the last game against Hibs. I think he came on as well, but I'm going to go with Matty Cash at right back. And I am going to go with Mr. In-form player at the minute, absolutely smashing it. Where's he gone? There he is. I thought we'd got rid of him already. Luke Dean, absolutely fantastic stuff from him. He's adding that delivery's come back, and the awareness and the attacking output is there, which hasn't been there for some time. So I'm really, really impressed with him. And I've got to say, it looks like that Acuna deal might be off now because he's got a slight injury. But the way he's playing, I just want to see him keep playing. Like, I don't want to see him leave because he's playing really, really well at the minute. So while he's still playing like this, then absolutely fantastic. So we're going to go with the next player, deep line double pivot role. He's going to be pretty obvious. Kamara, we're going to go with Luiz as well. I touched on Luiz in the match preview, and when I came off air thinking about Luiz, I just couldn't get him out of my head, because for me, He is our best player, in my opinion. He is definitely, for me, probably my favourite Villa player at the minute. I think he's absolutely outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. He's running the show. Like I said about his awareness, he's brilliant. He's so good. So good. And he has to start. We are going to go with John McGinn on the left. Again, not the favourable side, but I think until Ramsey comes back, I think McGinn is going to be in that area. We are going to go with the new observation, Moussa Diaby, making up the box midfield. So the box midfield will be made up of Kamara, Louise, McGinn and Diaby. Out wide, we're going to go with Bailey, and I'm telling you, he's performing and he's turning up and he's looking really sharp, and that is because when you bring in good players to a team, it makes players better. And this partnership combo between Bailey, Diaby and Watkins is absolutely monster. It's a monster front line because it's got pace, power, awareness, trickery, speed. It's organised, it's fluid, and it's looking very good. So the Bailey-Diaby partnership is in full force, and it's fantastic. And leading the line for Aston Villa, we are going to go with Ollie Watkins. So that is my starting lineup, and I think it will have too much for Burnley. I really like the team. So let's have a look then at how potentially Burnley are going to line up. Now, disclaimer. Every time I do this, I get Burnley fans, I get Everton fans, I get Hibs fans, I get Newcastle fans saying, that's not our team, that's not what we're going to do. I have done research and I have asked one of your content creators what the likely lineup is going to be. So don't come at me telling me that I've got this lineup wrong, because this is what your content creators and the top ones and the big ones are telling me in your fan base. So we are going to go with, change the colours round because we are away from home. So Villa are in the white and claret. Burnley are in the claret and blue. There is only one claret and blue team, and that is Aston Villa. So this is what we've gone with. The last game that they played against Manchester City, they went 5 at the back, and Company tweaks the system depending on the opposition. So we're going to go with a 4-2-3-1. I've been told that one of their central defenders may be out. Let me just confirm which defender that is. So there's a rumour going round that Bayer, their centre-back, has got an injury. So that's why he's not in the team. So their team's going to look like Trafford, Roberts, Al-Dakhil, O'Shea, Vitinho, Sanderberg, Cullen, Koleosho, Amdouni, Benson, and Foster. So that's how their lineup is going to be looking like. Key battle, like majority of the time, is going to be this battle in that midfield area with Berg, Cullen. How does Amdouni do in there as well? So this is going to be the battle for me. And I think our box midfield could slightly have a little bit too much for them. I expect Villa to be pushing in, holding our shape pretty high. And it's all about whether we can sort of impose our style. Both teams want to play possession-based football. We want to play things the right way. This is the new Burnley way of playing as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how both teams cope. Big test for Burnley, probably a tough test, because I think we can pose them quite a lot of problems. I think they've had a couple of games out and, you know, not playing games while we've been playing. So I think if we can impose ourselves, if we can get a Diaby in between these lines through here, I think will start posing them some real problems in this game. I spoke about some of the problems I think Burnley have in their side, and I think that one of the main problems, and this might sound harsh from a team that's gone up, is their defending at times. I think second phase, once the balls have gone into the box, there's a slight staticness to them. As you can see on this graphic, they are pretty defensive, but I think Haaland was just quicker to the ball. So I think that's one observation again. Now, when we had a look at the match preview and we saw where their weaknesses lied, it said about set pieces. Now, I found that stat after I'd done my research. So my research told me that their set piece defending is a little bit suspect. So what I mean by suspect is what they do is they have a blocking and man marking system around the penalty spot, and then in and around the 6-yard box they have a zonal marking. Now, I'm not that keen on zonal marking, and this feels a bit mismatched to me. You can see from this slide as well that you've got the man marking on the penalty area, and then you've got that zonal marking. I think if you can get a runner and beat the man that's on the penalty area and get a runner going into that direction there, then I think you can get a little bit of joy, because if they're static standing defenders and you've got a run on those, then I think you can get some joy as well. This was, I think, maybe one of their goals where you can see Foden running towards, pick up that short ball. Number 16 is trying to close it down. Too slow to react. So I think as well, if you can get runners peeling off into that zone as well, we know that at the minute, that's Diaby's zone, and that's where Diaby likes to be. So I'm hoping that McPhee is working with the lads on their set-piece defending, because in the Premier League, you can take set-piece defending for granted. And if you look at some of the top teams in the Premier League, like Man City, they score a lot of goals from set pieces. So again, I think that's an area where sometimes it can get overlooked by teams in the bottom half. Yeah, again, you can see another set piece. There's Haaland's already got a run on his marker. I think there's a player here that's got a run on his marker. There's a back post run as well. So if you can really get a run on your opposing player, again, there's another player at the edge of the box as well. I think you can get some joy on set pieces as well. What I thought Burnley did do well against Man City was in transition, they did start to look a little bit lively. They do commit players forward as well. So you can see through this graphic, there's 4 players that are getting forward as well. On this next photo as well, you can see again, more players that are breaking forward. So they do press well. They want to win the ball up high up the pitch as well. So if they win it higher up, then they are prepared to attack in numbers. Another slight observation that I saw in this game was that they were a little bit suspect to long balls and sort of those mid-range balls that were put into channels. I think I'd say Watkins is going to get quite a lot of joy in this game. If you look at Haaland, he's already got a run on the defender. So he's got joy on that moment there. There was another one where Haaland's got a run on the defender. It's a 1v1. So they're exposed through that area. We've got another screen grab of another 1v1. So if you can really press the ball, win the ball off them, hit them on the counter, I suspect Watkins, Diaby and Bailey will be looking to get in moments like this against this Burnley side. And finally, this is just a little bit of a screen grab of what they like to do when they're playing out from the back. So you can see that they set one defender on one side, another on another. So they've split it completely. So it's going to be very important that Aston Villa press well with a Watkins and a Diaby and a Bailey, that we sort of cutting out these passing lanes and we can stop them from playing out from the back as well. So those are my little screen grabs and sort of the areas that I feel like we can try and get some joy. Obviously, it's very difficult to try and find, the ways in which Burnley are going to settle when they've only played one game, and that one game was against Manchester City. So you have to take that from a pinch of salt, because we aren't Man City, and unfortunately, we're not as good as Man City, but we are a very good team, and I imagine that Unai will have his tactical plans ready in place. So really looking forward to it. Hopefully we can get a result in this game. We can get a win. We can, build on our last two performances. Then we'll go again against Hibs, and then we've got Liverpool away as well. And everything then starts to look a little bit better, and we start being in a little bit of a general steamroller mode on how we do things and on how we play. But we're in a good place. We're playing some good football. If I had to just point out something that to keep an eye on how we have been playing, is that this player is very, very important for Villa at the minute, and that is Pau Torres. If Pau Torres can get on the ball and start dictating play from centre-back, then I think we are going to get a bit of joy in this game as well. McGinn up against Cullen as well will be a really good battle, so it'll be interesting to see who can come out on top in that battle as well. And I do rate Trafford in goal. I think Trafford's a good goalkeeper. But again, I'd like to put him under a bit of pressure as well and really start cranking the pressure up on him as well and not let him settle, because he's only going to be having his second Premier League start. So, yeah, I think that's it for today. Predicted lineup. Hopefully you've enjoyed the lineup, prediction lineup. So if you have enjoyed it, make sure you are hitting a like, subscribe to this channel. We're creating a vast amount of content, very variable. So I'm trying to not do one episode exactly the same. So we've got so many different concepts. We've got match previews, predicted lineups, debriefs that are a little bit more tactical, showing you screen grabs. We've got our game week predictions. We've got raw fan cam straight out the ground, match reactions, which are straight from watching the game as well. We've got player ratings to come. So we've got loads of content, really variable. I just want to say thanks everybody who's been watching it and enjoying it. And yeah, get on the journey, subscribe, and thank you for watching Up the Villa.